everybody, it's me, Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 11, Episode 8, Memorial Mayhem. Gee, I wonder how the memorial went. I hope that title doesn't mean that they got into some shenanigans during the memorial. That's really not fair to... No. I mean, that would be bad, right? Anyway, last week we left off with lunch at Melissa and Joe's house. And as you recall, Margaret and Jennifer got into it. So now we're picking up where they are in their separate homes and everyone's getting ready for dinner. You know, it's just a little montage of everyone getting ready. In Margaret's, I guess Marge Sr. called and she just had like a laser treatment. So her face looks crispy. God, what we do to make ourselves look young, ladies. Cuckoo. So they take their two separate vans and they're meeting at the restaurant. And when they get there, Melissa and Joe's group got there first. They find out that they're going to be at two separate tables. Because of COVID, I guess, the restaurant won't do large groups. So they decide that they will have all the ladies at one table and the guys at the other. Side note, it just occurred to me what all that plastic sheeting is in the vans. That's because of COVID. Duh. I guess just to keep the driver away from the cast, because the cast has all been tested, right? I don't know. I'm assuming. So they're sitting down. The ladies order drinks. Joe orders shots for the table, for the guys' table, and then I guess drinks later. So whatever, the shots come, and Melissa turns around and she said, well, you guys should have bought drinks for the ladies. And Joe said, no, you're an independent lady. And she goes, we're not that independent. Oh, side note, Bill suggests that they toast to our loving ladies. Oh, it's cute. But anyway, so Melissa goes, buy us a drink. What's your name? To Joe. And she's just being cute and funny and flirty. Joe, see? Look, it's what she did at Lake George. She's a flirt. Okay. So Melissa turns around and she goes, did you hear what my husband just said? It's what she did in Lake George. Then Joe goes, Teresa, you said everything right. Oh my God. First observation is that Joe and Melissa were doing some pre-gaming at the house because the way they're acting, I don't know. I think they're a little drunkish. So, you know, Melissa's like, it was just a joke. And Joe's like, yeah, well, there has to be some truth to it, though, right? Isn't that right? I mean, ordinarily, I would say yes. But we saw how it evolved into this prank. So, no. Teresa, Joe, you're kidding, right? I was kidding. It was just a joke. Ha, ha. Why was her laughing in air quotes? So in Teresa's confessional, you know, the one where she looks like a Disney villain, she said, I can't believe my brother's still talking about this. But I don't know, maybe there is something going on in their marriage. Something I don't know about. Yeah, let's start that narrative. Is it because Teresa's single that she needs to like start a story about every seemingly stable marriage around her? I don't know. She should be happier now without Joe Giudice, the inventor. So Bill turns and he says to Melissa, why don't you give him a kiss? He's vulnerable. Melissa goes, vulnerable? Bill, yes, he wants his ego stroked. And Melissa's like, oh yeah, he needs stroking. Come here, let me rub your head. You know, Joe Giudice has an invention for that. For your ass and your head. So anyway, Joe's like, no, you don't. Which I didn't exactly know what he meant there. So Melissa turns back to the ladies and she goes, oh, he's so high maintenance. It's like, kill me now. Okay. Side note, I couldn't help but notice that her necklace now says Melissa and not wifey, so could be trouble in paradise. Not really. You know what I think? They probably just had an argument before they got there, and now it's coming out. I don't know. It just seems like it's coming out of nowhere. So I'm assuming something happened beforehand. Okay, so the food is served, and Teresa calls it octopussy. So everybody laughs, and they can't believe how horny Teresa is. And Jen's like, she just needs to get laid. Melissa goes, my advice, Teresa, is remember what it's like to have a man around all the time. Mine gets pissy because he thinks I'm too independent. Okay. They're either laying the groundwork for something here, or like I said, they had a fight before they came. Because I don't know where this is coming from. Dolores, Teresa, do you want my advice? And she goes, yeah. Pay attention to red flags. Really? Oh, like if he doesn't ever want to be around your friends, if he doesn't come to important events in your life, let's see, if he says after my house is built, I'll ask you to marry me, and then he doesn't. Those kind of red flags, Dolores. I mean, does anybody think Dolores should be giving advice right now? Not that I think Dolores has great advice about many, many things in life, but dating, maybe she should sit that one out. So Jennifer said, I would say, don't let him curse at you. Okay. Well, Margaret saw through that one. And she said, so do you think Joe should leave me because I yelled at him last night? Jennifer, yeah, that's a red flag. I don't talk derogatory to my husband. I was shocked. Then we cut to the guys' table, and Joe says to Joe B, I don't know if I'd let Melissa talk to me the way Marge talks to you sometimes. Okay, side note again. I know I talked about the men of New Jersey before, but no other franchise would the camera crew be fully on the men's table as well. You know what I mean? Like there's just as much drama going on there as at the ladies' table at any given moment. So Joe B's like, you know what? In 10 minutes, we're over it. That's just how we are with each other. Joe Gorga, you wear the G-string and she wears the pants. All the guys got a real big laugh out of that one. I would say most of all Bill, and I think he's overcompensating because I'm not even sure Bill understood that. Pants? You mean cape? At the ladies' table, Margaret said, nobody was in their right mind last night. Jennifer, yeah, but Margaret, you're no stranger to meanness. Here we go. All right. She goes, to say that my husband is my meal ticket? Margaret, well, you aspire to stay home and live off of your husband's money. Listen, I don't think Jennifer was right to imply that Margaret was some kind of gold digger at, 22 years old for sleeping with her 47-year-old boss. I mean, to not consider the power imbalance between a 47-year-old man who's the boss and the emotional insecurity of most 22-year-olds, to even imply that she somehow had the upper hand in that situation and was, orchestrating it to get ahead at her job, it's absurd and offensive and a complete lack of compassion. Margaret wasn't bragging about it when she told the ladies. She was saying it's part of my book because almost to highlight kind of the horrible things that she went through to get where she is today in the hopes that it could help some other girl who might be faced with the same situation. Anyway, having said all that, Margaret was wrong to say that Bill was Jennifer's meal ticket. That's equally absurd. She's raising their 5 children. I made the choice to stay home and raise my 1 child, and that's no small job. I am so tired of women on women shaming. Everybody makes the choice that's best for them, and it doesn't concern you. Work outside of the home, stay at home, mom. Don't have children, have children. Everybody's different. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I mean, geez, we don't need to worry about oppression from men if women keep attacking each other. That needs to stop. So, and sorry about that. So anyway, Jackie said in her confessional that, Jennifer and I haven't always agreed on a lot, but I used to be a stay-at-home mom too. Most of the women at the table were defending Jennifer, and, they should have. Jennifer goes, "You like to belittle moms, don't you?" Oh, okay, well, we need to stop attacking each other. Margaret said, "You hit very, very low with your talk about me sleeping with my boss. You don't blame someone who's been in a victim position." Jennifer goes, "You made it sound like you were sexing it up." No, she didn't. We heard her tell the ladies about it. That was when they were at Lake George. She was not acting like it was a salacious story and, "Ooh, look what I did, girls, and I was so wild." No, she never made it sound like that. Jennifer needs to go back and watch that episode. Anyway, Margaret's like, "I wasn't sexing it up." So while the ladies are arguing, we cut back to the guys' table. We can see that they're hearing what's happening. So they are just trying to abort. All right, let's get the check. Come on, guys, let's go. So everybody gets up to leave. House Dolores gets in their van. They head home. But House Melissa, when they get in the van, Joe is apparently got his nose out of joint about the fact that Melissa got in the van and didn't wait for him. Like, she walked on ahead. I mean, is this real? Is this something they're really arguing about? They start to argue in front of Margaret and Joe and Jackie and Evan, which is also crazy. They look like they would rather be anywhere else. Melissa basically thinks Joe's being a big baby. She said, "I'm the host." That's also a stupid argument. The host doesn't need to get in the van first. Joe's like, "Fine then, you just go by yourself and I'll walk behind." Guys, is this really what they're fighting about? Margaret, for some inexplicable reason, decides to insert herself into this marital squabble. And she said, "Joe, Melissa loves you very, very much. She got in the car. She didn't even know anything was wrong." Melissa's like, what the f*** is happening? Oh, okay. Well, Joe Gorga is treating this like just a full-on therapy session. So buckle up, everyone. It's going to be an awkward ride. Joe he actually even turns to the people behind and he goes, "So this is the problem. We used to be so attached to one another. And I'm still like that. But she's changed." Oh my God. Evan is in finance, for Christ's sake. He shouldn't have to be listening to couples therapy right now. Okay, Joe's mad because Melissa turned into a businesswoman. I didn't even know Envy was still up and running. They don't film there. She doesn't even pretend to go there anymore. I don't even think she or anybody else has mentioned it, like in a couple of seasons now. Also, didn't Joe used to support Melissa's endeavors? Because I'm pretty sure there's a recording studio in their basement right now collecting dust. Okay, so this just devolves into Joe thinking that they're growing apart. Yep, maybe we're just growing apart. Yeah, your marriage is over because she got into the van ahead of you. I know that's not the whole reason, but that is the trigger to you now deciding your marriage is over? In front of other people? In front of Evan? That could hurt his reputation in finance, people. Finance! Oh my God, now that I keep saying it, I feel like it's not finance that he's in. I'm going to go with it. Honestly, though, this escalated so quickly that I'm starting to get very suspicious. This kind of smacks of let's have another baby storyline of last season. I mean, you can't tell me that Melissa and Joe, if they really had concerns about the state of their marriage, wouldn't have talked about it privately. You know? I know there are couples that air their dirty laundry in public and you're like, oh, this is a fun party. But it really came out of nowhere, and I feel like they had to work hard to make this happen. Anyway, Melissa gets a little too nasty right now, and she's like, ooh, be careful, everyone. Joe's going to throw a hissy fit. Let me kiss his ass. Then she says, you're a fucking spoiled something, and I couldn't make it out. But I'm sure it wasn't good. Then Joe goes, be careful what you say, because I will never talk to you again. Okay. You know what I'm thinking? Poor Teresa. She doesn't even get to witness this. She would be elated. So they get to their house, and Joe gets out of the van first, and he goes right up to the door, and he goes, "How do you like this? I'm going on ahead of you." I'm pretty sure she probably wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't say anything. Melissa gets through the front door now, and she's like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry that I walked ahead of you. I will never do it again." And Joe's like, "That's all I'm saying." Did you not catch the sarcasm in her voice? Because I don't think she really meant it. Evan, Jackie, and Margaret are talking about it to themselves. They're kind of whispering by the van. And Jackie said, "I think he's being too sensitive." Jackie, accusing somebody of being too sensitive. That's how you know it's bad. So they all go in the house now, and they're wondering like where they went to. And Margaret pokes her head out onto the deck in the back, and she sees Joe, and she's like, "Melissa? Is Melissa out here?" And he said, "No." And she goes, "Okay, Joe, get out there." So the guys, Evan goes out there too. I'm sure he's like, "Why am I here?" And then Jackie and Margaret go into Melissa's bedroom because that's where Melissa is. Meanwhile, nothing exciting is happening in the other car. Teresa is reminding Adriana to bring her white dress for No celebration. No, you wear white for me. And Dolores is like falling asleep. So back to the broken marriage of Joe and Teresa. Joe and Melissa. Oh, wow, that's a Freudian slip. Back to the broken marriage of Joe and Melissa. By the way, I hope you know that I wouldn't be this snarky about it if I really thought that they were in trouble. I am so convinced this is like a whole fake thing that I feel like I could say whatever. Out on the deck, Joe B is saying to Joe, "I get it. You think you're not getting the affection that you need." Cut to Evan, and I swear to God, he looks like, "What the f am I doing here? I'm in finance." Back inside, Margaret's basically saying he's a whiny little bitch. Admittedly, she did not use those words, but the general sense was there. Yeah, Jackie and Margaret think that Joe's being hypersensitive. So while Joe is telling his bros that he just wants to be loved, and is that so wrong? Melissa is telling the ladies what things were like at the beginning of her marriage. In a nutshell, Joe was very controlling and jealous, and Melissa, coming from a childhood where there were rumors that her father was cheating, mistakenly saw that as a sign of love. Back out with the guys, now Joe is talking about the devil getting into your soul, and I'm lost. I think he wants to plan an exorcism for Melissa. Unclear. He then takes the guys by the hand and tells them to go be with their wives, and he'll be in a minute. God. He's so dramatic. Inside, the ladies are talking about how old school Joe is and how Melissa isn't old school anymore and that she needs to drag her husband into the 21st century. I'm paraphrasing again. Joe walks into the bedroom and the ladies skedaddle out of there. Joe's like, "Nobody's saying anything bad about you. I just think you're too involved in work." But Joe's over it. He doesn't want to argue anymore. It's the night before his father's celebration of life. No. But Melissa is not over it. And she tells him, "This is the best you're ever going to get, baby." Probably. The next morning, Joe Gorga and Evan are out on the deck stretching together before exercising or something. I don't know. Melissa's got her workout clothes on, and she's going to go for a bike ride and clear her head. She said that she and Joe haven't spoken since the night before. At House Dolores, Frank is on the boat because he's going to go get some gas because they are taking the boat to a restaurant that is right on the river's edge, or it's called River's Edge, or both, maybe. Dolores goes to get breakfast. The plan is to take the boat to lunch, and then at 6 o'clock is going to be the memorial. No. That's my little celebration of no. Now Melissa returns from her bike ride, and the girls are all talking about last night. Outside, Joe B asks Joe Gorga how he's feeling today, and he goes, not good. We haven't spoken. And Joe Benigno's like, oh, you gotta talk it out with Melissa. Go talk to her. So Joe goes into the kitchen and he apologizes for ruining the night last night. And the others leave so that Joe and Melissa can talk privately. But before they really get into anything, the doorbell rings and it's breakfast she had ordered. So they just start bringing the breakfast out and they decide to kind of table the discussion for another time. Okay, so a short montage of people getting ready to go to lunch on the boats. And side note, this is the second time we are seeing Bill put Jennifer's shoes on her. Is there something wrong with Jennifer? Like, can she not bend over? Bill, will you help me put my shoes on? Oh, does she have another procedure where she can't bend or she'll pop a stitch? I don't know. All right. Everyone at House Dolores has gotten onto the boat. They're heading to the restaurant. At Melissa's house, Melissa and Joe's kids get there with their nanny. In Joe's confessional, he said, I support Melissa working. I said, okay, let's get an au pair to help with the kids. Anyway, Melissa's talking to the au pair and asking her how the drive was, were the kids okay and all that. And it's a little chaotic. The kids are just going to, hang out there at the house while they go to lunch. And so she's like calling upstairs, Margaret, are you ready? And while all this chaos is happening, Joe's phone rings and he answers it. And he's very shady about it. He's like, I'll call you back in 20 minutes. And he hangs up. It was weird that the camera was showing us that, so I'm pretty sure this is going to come into play later, but I don't know how. Maybe he's like planning a surprise for her. Although that would be weird because it's the memorial that night. I don't know. We'll see. I will say this. It brought to mind Joe Giudice's call at the Vineyard. Forget about it. My bitch wife is coming. Class act. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what? People can change. He's an inventor now. Okay, so everybody there gets onto Joe's boat and they're heading to the restaurant. On the way to the restaurant, Joe's standing up, steering the boat. Everyone's like sitting in the back. And Melissa gets up and stands by him and goes something like, hi, honey, look at all the attention I'm giving you. And he laughs and smiles. And then he turns to tell everybody that they had sex in the... Is he starting to say bathroom? I don't know. Weird. Melissa's like, Joe, stop it. Seriously, stop it. Do you realize how this could hurt Evan's career in finance? Sorry. I will say, I think there's something wrong with Joe Gorga because I think he thinks that means everything's all better. Melissa ends up having to tell him, it's not about the sex, Joe. I think all of his self-worth is wrapped up in having sex. It's sad. And okay, so now at the restaurant, they are all at two tables again, but this time they split it up with Dolores and Frank, Joe and Melissa, Margaret and Joe at one table, and at the other table is the rest of them, Jackie and Evan, Bill and Jennifer, and Teresa. So after Joe B and Teresa talk about their shirts, because Joe B is wearing one with pineapples on it, and Teresa goes, did you wear that for me? I'm wearing one with lemons on it today. Evan says something about limoncello, and Dolores goes, oh, you speak Italian. Jennifer goes, he speaks all languages. He was speaking Turkish to me yesterday. And Evan jokes, I used to date a lot of international women. Dolores goes, I was gonna say, you learned that from girls you've dated. Okay, I think he was kidding, because I'm sure he learned that for the incredible world of finance. He said, I used to live in Argentina. Teresa, I've never been there. Evan goes, I only visit my kids there. Just kidding. He could not have said just kidding any faster. And with this group, he was right. Because if he took any kind of a pause before he said just kidding, that would be the next rumor. Evan has another family in Argentina. Then Joe Gorga says he's feeling kind of shaky, and somebody said, you haven't been sleeping well the last couple nights. And Melissa goes, I haven't been sleeping well either. And last night, he and I got into a little fight. Whose ears perked up? Teresa whips her head around because she's at the other table. You two got in a fight? Why? So hopeful. Melissa, I don't know. He needs more attention from me. Teresa, all right, then give him more attention. Melissa goes, I do. He needs a lot. I'm just going to condense this conversation into Teresa said next time around, she wants a guy like her brother. Then Teresa jokes, next time around, and she nudges her brother. And Melissa goes, you want him to marry someone else? Because he's almost there. Teresa, no, I'm just kidding. I love you. She can barely get it out. And this is funny. Melissa goes, I hope he marries someone evil. And you're like, oh my God, I want Melissa back. So as they're ordering food, Frank says to Joe Gorga, hey, Joe, do you remember JR? He used to run sheriff sales. He just walked in. And Joe's like, I might remember him. I'll go say hi with you. Okay, I am opening myself to another big mistake like Short Home, but I don't know what a sheriff sale is. I swear he said sheriff sale. I went back and I put the closed captioning on and it said sheriff sale. Could somebody just answer that in the comments? What is a sheriff sale? And I could be like way wrong, but I feel like it's something like where cars get repossessed, then they sell them for cheap or something. But would the sheriff, like, would police be doing that? I don't know. Please leave a comment. Be gentle. I'm an idiot. Anyway, those two go leave to say hi to JR. And at the other table, Jennifer and Teresa are really pretty much, I think, grilling Jackie about what happened with Melissa and Joe the night before. And Jackie and Evan are the only ones that were at the other house. So she is kind of telling them, but it makes me feel bad because it makes me feel like she's trying to be liked by Teresa. Like she doesn't want to start up a new thing with Teresa by saying, no, you need to ask Melissa. Like, so she is trying to, I don't know. It felt a little uncomfortable to me. I feel like I've been in situations like that. Meanwhile, at Melissa's table, and when I say at these two different tables, they're really just like back to back with each other. So I don't know how that's like COVID protocol. But anyway, Joe left his phone sitting on the table when he went to go talk to whoever came. And it keeps ringing over and over again. And Melissa's like, who the heck keeps calling? So she picks it up and she goes, my sister? She said something like my sister, but like she was questioning, like she didn't know who it was. I don't know. That was weird because then she goes, this guy person or whatever must really need my husband. So then she answers the phone and they hang up. And I think she called the number back and it was like no answer or whatever. And then Joe comes back to the table and she tells him his phone's been ringing off the hook. And she goes, it's Realtor Giselle. And he said, oh, yeah, it's about a deal. But she's called like 6 times in a row. He's like, it's nothing. Now the phone rings again. And this time he answers it. And he goes, oh, this plumber's driving me crazy. And he takes the call and he walks away from the table. When he's gone, Dolores starts talking to Melissa about him and their marriage. And she's like, he's old school. You have to understand that, Melissa. He wants to do everything for you. Even if you're capable of doing it, he wants to do everything for you. Blah, blah, blah. He comes back to the table and Dolores says, this girl loves you like crazy. Don't give that up. And Joe's like, no, it's just, you've changed a little bit. That's all. Now it appears that Frank is texting Joe under the table. And my spidey sense is feeling like something's going on here. Joe's like pretty distracted with the conversation, and now he's texting back Realtor Giselle. And Joe goes, it's fine. She wants some money. Now I'm thinking I'm wrong, because that seems pretty plausible to me. That he owes somebody some money for a job. Side note, you guys, I submitted a question to Andy Cohen for the reunion. So if you're watching the reunion, and you better be, I hope that in one of the episodes of the reunion, you're going to hear Andy say, Jill Informed from Chicago asks, Did Joe Gorga really owe Michelle's husband tens of thousands of dollars? That was my question. I said something like, because it seemed to me like he just decided to forget about it in exchange for his wife selling Teresa's house, and getting the commission. I mean, it's such a long shot, but I've never done that before. I just happened to be on Twitter and I saw his tweet come up saying, if you have a question for the Jersey reunion, answer below. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. Fingers crossed. Okay, so his phone rings again, and finally Melissa says out loud, okay, I'm not going to be punked. I don't think my husband is cheating on me. And Joe and the other guys start laughing. And then we see a flashback to the day before when the guys were all at the bar and the ladies were arguing. Joe came up with the idea. He said, Frank, I'm going to change your name in my phone to Realtor Giselle. And then we're going to punk Melissa. So here's my question. Was the whole acting like a baby the night before all part of this ruse? Because if so, hats off to some great acting. And you got your friends to buy into it too. So. Anyway, Joe loves that Melissa called the number back because that proves that she was jealous. Well, you know what mature couples in a relationship do? They try to make their significant other feel safe and loved, not jealous. That's what I mean. Like, something weird is going on with him. He's equating sex and jealousy with love. And I mean, yeah, there's part of that in a marriage too, but it certainly shouldn't be the dominating part. Anyway, lunch is over and everyone gets back on their boats and heads back to their prospective houses to get ready for the celebration of no. Oh, except Evan. Yes, he says he has to get back to the kids. And by kids, I assume he means the exciting world of finance. So dumb. Like I said, everyone's getting ready. Melissa's got her hairstylist there doing her hair. And Joe fixes her an iced coffee. Where's Margaret? She's not going to like that she wasn't there to get one. But everyone's in their white, the kids, everybody. It's very pretty. The house is getting all spruced up with, tablecloths on little, tables around the outside and the back and beautiful flowers everywhere. The caterers have arrived. It's very pretty. At Dolores's house, Frank tells her that Frankie Jr.'s on his way. Teresa calls Gabriella. Gabriella, what's your ETA? We're about 40 minutes away. Jeez, I hope she drives faster than she talks. As everyone's heading to Melissa's, we see that there are all these photos everywhere. There's like a photo wall, and they just have pictures and all over decorated on tables and things like that of Nono, and Nona. And pictures of the family and everything. And then there's this picture of Nono when he's young, and I'm like, who is that? He looks like a Jonas brother. Well, not a brother, but maybe like an older, distant cousin who took a different path in life. No, Jonas. No, Jonas. I'm just being silly because I know in a few minutes I'm going to be crying. All right, everyone is bringing beautiful gifts like portraits, and Bill and Jennifer brought some scotch and a beautiful painting of Joe and Teresa's mom and dad. And Jennifer says in her confessional that, all of this is making her think about her own relationship with her mom and wishing that it was better, and of course wishing that her parents' relationship was better. And then, is Dolores drunk? I mean, I've never seen Dolores drunk, and this would be a very strange occasion for her to choose to be drunk for the first time on camera. But she is just bizarre. When she sees Frankie Jr. arriving, she yells, "Oh, my Frankie! I felt him. My uterus hurt." And she grabs Frank Sr. by the neck, and she's cackling this laugh that I've never seen come out of Dolores's body. Don't get me wrong, I love this Dolores. love her, would love to see more of her, but I'm just surprised by it. Okay, so Teresa, Joe, and Melissa and all their kids ask Frank Sr. if he'll take a picture of them, so that was sweet. It's a very nice picture of everybody in white. And oh crap, Gia is going to give a speech. Grab your tissues, people. This kid kills you with her emotional speeches. Okay, it was thankfully short, but she did break down at one point, and that was rough to watch. And then everybody threw flower petals into the river. Is that a river? Yeah, right? The place is called Tom's River, so I'm going to assume it's not. It looks like a river. Let's go with that. I'm sure I'm going to be hearing from you guys not only what the hell a sheriff's sale is, but sorry, Jill, it's not a river, and Evan is not in finance. He is in my world, okay? So it's later into the evening now, and everyone is saying what a lovely celebration it was for no. And everything was beautiful. And there's a little group standing around in a circle. And Joe Gorga said, "You know what my father said to me before he died? He said, take care of your sister." Oh, no. Now I'm going to start crying. And that's what I'm going to do, Teresa. I will. Come on. Let's go do a shot of blue. He really said that. Actually, everybody is doing a shot of blue. And that is where this episode ends. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next week, I think they're going to probably be back at home. So this was the end of the Jersey Shore episodes. Is this their, oh yeah, I guess because of COVID. Is this like their big trip? But you know what? This is so much better because the guys could come, everybody could come, you know? And it isn't just the ladies in like Rome like they were before fighting like crazy anyway. So what's the point? It doesn't matter where they are or what beautiful location or how much Bravo spends to send them somewhere. They all do the same thing anyway. They don't enjoy their surroundings. It's not like we're seeing, I don't know, sightseeing or whatever. Not that we want to, but I'm just saying I don't need the big trips, really. It's fun to have the ladies have to all be together 24/7, but you could do that anywhere, you know, put them all in a hotel room somewhere. But anyway, yeah, so that was it. Thank you guys. Just a reminder that if you haven't subscribed yet, to please consider doing that. And if you liked this particular episode, please give it a thumbs up. These things matter to YouTube. They help my channel a lot. And of course, don't forget to leave comments. I'm expecting a lot of comments on this one. Okay, guys. Oh, I'm hungry right now. This is my impression of every YouTuber girl or any vlogger girl, it doesn't have to be on YouTube, who eats on camera, okay? Like, I'll just pretend I'm putting something. No. Nothing tastes that good that you have to dance. And it's always something stupid, like a cracker. Please, anyone over the age of 2 knows what a cracker tastes like. It doesn't make you do that. Why? Oh, life is funny. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Wear a mask, wash your hands. Love you guys. Bye.